Hey everyone, Obi Stu back with another episode of Duval Ditties. This time around, the business we are featuring are my good friends over at Retro Renos. Retro Renos is a family owned and operated vintage camper renovation company powered by a love for adventure. Their mission is to highlight the classics while bringing the modern convenience of today. No matter how big or small, they can help tackle your camper dreams. Their environment offered lots of opportunities for me to grab some unique sounds, so let's go check out their space and meet the team. Retro, 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 retro.
I guess I can kick it off here. My name is Steven. I'm owner and director of operations here at Retro Renos. Um, as Retro Renos, we do modifications, renovations, repairs, sales of everything in the molded fiberglass camper world.
And I'm Daniel Haralambo, and I am the president owner of Retro Renos. I'm in charge of most of the shop day to days when it comes to the maintenance of any of the campers or rebuilds of other campers, and ordering parts, and just being the face on any kind of social media or um, any kind of media outlet in general.
We've coined that the Retro Renos character.
Unofficially, 2017 ish, we started with our first camper, and then 2019 is when we became LLC and really kind of pushed it into a real business. So if unofficially 2017, officially 2019, and we're going strong. Yeah, so starting out, I kind of helped. Me and my buddies worked on vehicles and just having fun rebuilding things. Always loved campers and the outdoors, and so started with a very small 13-foot scamp, and realized how fun it was to rebuild and how much satisfaction I got out of the finished product, and then selling it to a customer of and how their face lit up and just had a great time with it, and kind of just molded into what it is today. And it's not as much buying and selling, but it's more.
Yeah, it's more taking what the idea the client has and kind of creating it into a masterpiece, if you will, kind of what they're envisioning. It's our job to take their ideas and their budget and incorporate everything in there. What inspired me though to get into this, uh, 2021, right? I went and got a 13-foot camper from I always forget which state that was. Iowa. Do we
Yeah.
we landed on Iowa? Yeah, it was Iowa and Des Moines. Yep, and renovated it with Dan here, and kind of was in the midst of leaving the current position that I was at in the corporate world, and knew that I love campers and camping in general, and needed to stop traveling with the corporate gig, and kind of bloomed into a relationship and partnership. Yeah, local, born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. My family kind of hails from St. Augustine area originally, but I am born and raised Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, native of Jacksonville. Born and raised on East Arlington area, and made it over here to the north side, and got some a good property over here, and we're able to have all of our operations over here on the north side by the airport.
I think the thing I love most about Jacksonville is our community in general, like, the tight network of friends that I've had here. Like, I've thought about, moving to different places before and out of the humid climate and get away from the hot. But then I think about, like, my entire family's here, my network's here, the people I went to school with, the friends that I have that have kids now too, that we all are kind of growing up and turning into real adults together at the same time. And if I had to say anything that Jacksonville could do better, and I think it's kind of working in that way, is turning into a real city, less of just a big piece of land. If you're from, small towns, you think Jacksonville's this giant place that's, nightlife and all this other kind of stuff. But while there is some of that there, it's, downtown was deprived for a long time. And it's cool to see now that it's starting to move back in the right direction. So what I think they could do better, they're starting to get on track for sure.
Yeah, I think what I love about Jacksonville, it's a big city but a small town, is what I like to say. If you're here for a while, you get to know a lot of people, and a lot of people know a lot of people. And so networking can be very easy if you plug yourself in, and getting to know other people in the city can happen pretty fast if you are active on just, growing your friend group or growing your professional friend group. Or client group. I think one of the things I think Jacksonville needs to work on definitely is surrounding the river as one of the main veins of entertainment for Jacksonville. I think we could see a lot happening on the riverfront other than apartments, in that kind of building. I think we have such a cool thing with having a river that goes right through the downtown area, that goes right actually through everything of Jacksonville. The river connects all the way from the north side all the way down to Mandarin. And so to be able, or Fruit Cove area, to be able to have something on the river that you can get there either by boat or by car is going to be incredible, or even by camper, I guess, is to be incredible to have. And, I think if they can focus on making sure that the riverfront of some sort is a really a big goal for entertainment or for food, for gathering and community, I think that they're going to be definitely on the right. And I think they're heading that way. Like you said, I think they're heading that way, and we're going to see a lot of good progress around that. Yeah, I think fiberglass campers are definitely on the rise for popularity because people are seeing that they last forever. And so we have stick builds and you have molded fiberglass campers, right? And what we mainly specialize in is molded fiberglass campers. And we get campers from 2024, and we also get campers from 1972. And the cool thing is the 1972s can look as good as the 2024 because they hold up so well. Value wise, the fiberglass holds up well, and just rigidity of the camper itself is so awesome. So people are seeing that they could have a 50-year-old camper and still feel like they can camp in it versus having a stick built camper. And if it's over maybe 20 years, it's probably ruined.
Yeah. I would say, to add on to that too, the cool thing about a molded fiberglass camper is, yeah, it's a little smaller, but that's a good thing for a lot of people. If you don't have an F-350, you can't tow that fifth wheel, basically a house on wheels around, whereas the molded fiberglass camper, you can get it in, between 13 and, 21 feet, sometimes even 25 feet as well. But you can pretty much pull them with almost any vehicle that you already have. Like, that's the main thing that most people jump on a 13 or a 16-foot camper for, is because they can pull it with their Subaru Outback, or they can pull it with their Nissan Frontier, or they can pull it with their Ford Ranger. We've seen a 13-foot being pulled by a Tesla or a Toyota Prius. These guys weigh anywhere from 1,200 pounds to 3,500 pounds on a typical molded fiberglass camper. So it's definitely been when people had to get outside during 2020, everybody jumped to camping because it's the easiest thing to do outside. And why not have something that you can also just park inside your garage, instead of having go rent a whole facility to put your camper at.
I think, also to add on to that, it's just that initial investment, right? And so when people jump into camping, they think they have to buy a truck and a camper, Where in fiberglass world, most of the time you just have to buy the camper and the hitch. And so the initial investment is even lower than even buying maybe a stick built camper where you don't have to buy a new vehicle too.
I think our main vision for Retro Renos is to kind of highlight the molded fiberglass camper in the southeastern United States. This past year, we became the first official outpost for Scamp Travel Trailers, who's been in business for over 50 years, and they've never partnered with anybody like this on any kind of level. So we're the first company to ever do that with them. So our goal and our vision is really to bring the molded fiberglass camper to relevance in the southeast, but also, eventually start branding ourselves a little bit out with everyone in the molded fiberglass world.
Yeah, I think that for sure. I think we want to just be a resource for the fiberglass community, on top of being probably a one stop shop. Where it can be not only maybe Scamp trailers, but other brands as well that we can bring in, and kind of you can kind of see the comparison. You can be able to see them, you can understand them, and you be educated on them as well. Um, so that if people have questions about any type of fiberglass camper, they'd be able to come to us. Yeah, so if you are interested in anything that we are about with it comes to the fiberglass campers or retro renos, one of the best things you can do is follow us on any social media, whether that be Instagram at retro_renos or Facebook or YouTube. One of the cool things that we just been able to do in the beginning of this year is start our very own fiberglass camper podcast, which is called The Last Camper on in the Shop. And so it's just a podcast about us just hanging out, and our wives are going to be on it as well. But we're just talking about basically what's happening in the shop, fiberglass camper world, and just kind of talking about camping in general and the great outdoors.
Yeah, I would just add to that too. Even if you're not a huge on camping, we kind of talk about travel and everything else that goes along with it. I mean, yeah, family and in general, how to fluctuate between owning a small business and having a family life too, especially when your business partners are also your wives. So
Emily and Raquel couldn't make the interview that day, but I didn't want to leave them out. So here's a shout out to the other half of the Retro Renos team. Here I am gathering the sounds. This is an Escape 21C travel camper. As you can see, I'm going all around the camper to gather the sounds using various percussion instruments, drumsticks, mallets, things like that. I usually record for about 30 minutes. Using that 30-minute window gives me a set of parameters to work in. I then take these sounds and drop them into Ableton and turn them into the drum sounds that are featured in the pack. So in this pack we have 142 sounds. We have 10 808s, 14 claps, 15 hi-hats, 4 impacts, 13 kicks, 11 perks, and 14 perk loops, 6 risers, 10 snaps, 12 snares, 24 textures. With an addition of 9 vocal chops. So here's a couple examples. This bongo is made out of a window. This texture was made from random noise outside. This 808 was made from the coupler of the camper. Of course, I had to make some beats after making the pack. I made 8 beats for the team varying in style and genre. And here's their favorite.
Hello? Who's this?
Retro Renos.
Renos. Renos. Renos. Renos.
The Retro Renos pack is now available in my shop. Head over and take a look at the pack and check out my other packs as well. There's a lot of free packs on there, and if you sign up for my newsletter, you get 10 exclusive sounds per month that aren't featured anywhere. Stay tuned and see you next time.